The arrival of BTS in Munich became one of the most talked about moments of the week as the global superstars touched down in Germany ahead of their highly anticipated schedule. What was expected to be a carefully managed airport arrival quickly turned into an unforgettable scene filled with excitement, emotion, and the unmistakable purple energy of ARMY. From the earliest hours of the day, fans had begun gathering near the airport, holding banners, wearing BTS-inspired outfits, and waiting with phones in hand for even the smallest glimpse of the seven members. Although security measures were reportedly intensified to keep the situation safe and organized, the passion of the fans could not be hidden. The moment rumors spread that BTS had landed, the atmosphere changed instantly. Cheers rose from different corners of the airport, voices called out the members' names, and social media began filling with clips, photos, and emotional reactions from fans who had waited for hours. Munich Airport, usually known for its calm and efficient rhythm, suddenly felt like the center of a worldwide celebration. The arrival was more than a simple travel moment. For ARMY, it was the beginning of a new chapter in the group's European journey, and every second carried meaning. The possibility of seeing RM, Jin, SUGA, J-Hope, Jimin, and Jungkook arriving in the same city created a wave of anticipation that had been building for days. Fans from Germany and neighboring countries traveled long distances, many arriving before sunrise just to be part of the moment. Some held handmade signs in Korean, German, English, and other languages, while others carried purple balloons, light sticks, and flags that represented the global nature of the BTS fandom. The airport area became a meeting place for people who had never met before but were instantly connected by the same excitement. There were fans who had followed BTS for years, fans attending their first major event, and fans who had traveled from other parts of Europe simply because they did not want to miss the group's arrival in Munich. The anticipation became even more intense when airport staff and security personnel began moving into position. Barricades were arranged, pathways were cleared, and teams worked to ensure that the arrival could take place without unnecessary disruption. The scale of the crowd made it clear that this was no ordinary celebrity appearance. BTS have always had the ability to transform an ordinary public space into a major event, and Munich was no exception. Even before the members were seen, the energy around the airport was already overwhelming. Every passing vehicle caused a ripple of excitement. Every movement near the secured area made fans lean forward, hoping that the next moment would finally bring BTS into view. The anticipation was not only about seeing the members, it was about sharing a once-in-a-lifetime memory with thousands of other people who understood exactly why the moment mattered. When BTS finally appeared, the reaction was immediate. A loud wave of cheers swept through the crowd, with fans calling out the members' names and raising their phones high into the air. The members were surrounded by staff and security, moving carefully through the airport as the crowd watched from behind barriers. Despite the strict protection around them, fans were still able to feel the warmth of the moment. A wave, a brief smile, a nod, or a glance toward the crowd was enough to create a huge reaction. For the fans who had waited for hours, those tiny gestures became unforgettable. The members' arrival was brief, but it carried the emotional weight of a major concert moment. It was proof that BTS had arrived in Munich, and it was the first real sign that the city was about to become part of another historic chapter in their global story. The security presence was one of the most noticeable parts of the scene. Airport officials, private security teams, and event staff reportedly worked together to keep the members and the public safe. The route through the airport was closely controlled, and fans were encouraged to remain behind designated barriers. The intense precautions were understandable given the size of the crowd and the worldwide attention surrounding BTS. Yet even with the strict organization, the atmosphere remained full of excitement rather than tension. ARMY showed why the fandom is often praised for its ability to support the group with love and respect. Many fans reminded one another to stay calm, avoid pushing, and follow instructions from security. Online, messages spread quickly asking people not to crowd the members, not to invade their personal space, and to make sure that everyone could enjoy the moments safely. It was a powerful reminder that the relationship between BTS and ARMY has always been built on more than excitement. It is also built on care, responsibility, and a shared desire to protect the members. The arrival in Munich immediately became a trending topic across social media platforms. Videos of the crowd began spreading within minutes, with fans around the world reacting to the atmosphere at the airport. Some could not believe how many people had gathered, while others expressed emotional messages about wishing they could have been there in person. The images of purple banners, cheering fans, and tightly organized security created a dramatic picture of BTS's influence. Even after years at the top of the global music industry, the group continues to create the kind of excitement that makes every public appearance feel historic. For many fans watching from home, the airport footage became a way to feel connected to Munich. They may not have been able to stand behind the barricades or hear the cheers in person, but through live streams and fan updates, they were able to experience the emotion of the moment. The arrival showed once again that BTS events are never limited to one city or one country. A single airport appearance can become a global moment because ARMY is everywhere. Munich itself seemed to transform as news of BTS's arrival spread. Hotels, restaurants, shopping areas, and public spaces began welcoming fans who had traveled to the city for the group's schedule. Purple outfits and BTS-themed accessories became easy to spot, while conversations about the members could be heard in multiple languages. The city was preparing for a surge of excitement, and the airport arrival was only the beginning. Fans who had been waiting outside quickly shared updates with friends across the city, and the mood became contagious. The sense of anticipation grew stronger as people imagined what might happen next. Would BTS be seen leaving their hotel? Would they visit a famous Munich landmark? Would there be a surprise moment before the upcoming event? Every possibility became a topic of conversation. For ARMY, the arrival was not simply the end of a flight. It was the start of a countdown. The presence of BTS in Munich carried special meaning because the group's relationship with international fans has always been one of their greatest strengths. From the beginning of their rise, BTS built a connection that crossed language barriers, cultural differences, and geographical distance. Their music has reached listeners in every corner of the world, and their message of self-belief, perseverance, and emotional honesty has created a fandom unlike any other. In Munich, that global connection was visible in real time. Fans from different backgrounds stood side by side, united by songs, memories, and a shared admiration for the 7 members. Some fans had discovered BTS through early music videos, others through stadium performances, and others through recent solo projects. But at the airport, all of those different journeys came together. The crowd was a living example of how BTS has become more than a music group. They have become a cultural force capable of bringing people together in moments of joy. The members themselves have often spoken about how meaningful it is to meet fans in different countries. Every city brings a different atmosphere, a different language, and a different kind of energy, but the love from ARMY remains recognizable wherever they go. Munich welcomed BTS with a level of excitement that reflected years of support from German and European fans. For those who had waited through long periods of uncertainty, missed opportunities, and years of hoping for another chance to see the group together, the arrival felt especially emotional. It represented possibility. It represented reunion. It represented the return of the full BTS experience, where 7 artists with distinct personalities and talents come together to create something larger than themselves. The airport